Yo, what's good? I ain't gonna lie, like Elmo's World, like, hey boys and girls, we're talking about the letter O today. Like, I never know. Yeah. I never know how to do these things. It's like back with another video. So, it's your girl Tay.
It's your boy Dame, Mr. Strickland, Mr. _ Strickland 44.
That's so extra.
I know. I like to be.
Well, he's not telling his name this time, so that
Damian,
saves us about 5 minutes.
Damian.
Okay, please go.
Oh my God, I'm Brittany.
Yeah, so we were just sitting here having so many different conversations, and it was like, let's put it all on film and let's talk about it. So it's really just random thoughts, starting with the use of social media, how social media is the devil. But it's making money, so it's
mass media, not just like...
Oh, not social media, but media in general is the devil. Even though I only go to social... Like, I literally wake up and there's no notifications. I wonder how it would be if I had, like, a bunch of notifications.
Be me. Man,
yeah, I would be like...
I wake up every day to probably, like, 400 texts.
No, you don't.
That's because he gets group texts of, like, 10 men in one group text, and they never stop.
I couldn't do that.
Never stop.
But you gotta go all the way up and read it all?
Oh, yeah, I read everything. It is funny though.
I'd be like, catch me up.
Anyways, let's all like just give our opinions on it. Do you think social media is? Do you think the media is factual, or like how do you feel when it comes to like the media and the use of it?
Overall, I think that it's we live in a era right now where it's like it's being just driven down our throats. Like one of the biggest, like I'm in mass support of like what Kanye West said, on TMZ. Everything typically, there would be ways to, definitely convey it to where everybody should understand it. But I'm just going to speak on the media thing that he said, and what that was when he was, what? I know you, but seriously, like what he said was, I'm standing here in the hospital, and what you guys have to offer us is the cure, but you keep giving us the poison. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, the poison is information that is useless, or information that comes to a point you give it up so much that we become numb to it and only sensitive, at a point where it's just like, oh, America's horrible, when America's actually a very beautiful and graceful place, but all we see is the damage that is being like displayed in America. We never promote positivity in our own media. Mm-hmm. And that's what Kanye West was basically saying and discussing, like our media forces us to pick sides, and it's like we are all together as Americans, and we constantly miss the whole concept of what news should be, instead of the point that they have us saying this is what news is and this is how you have to, basically view it.
What do you think, Brittany?
When I think about, I personally can't stand social media, but I think it's had its pros and cons on like how we communicate as, just a world. I think it's horrible because, like you said, it shoves so much negative information down our throat and so much inaccurate information down our throat, and it's so easy to manipulate, like videos or what people are saying. Like I even spoke to, I have a friend who does like editing for like real like reality TV shows, and it's so easy for them to edit and make people say stuff that they never even said. Like it's all for show. It's all to make another money, make another dollar. And at the same time, I feel like every once in a while we do go on social media and there's something beautiful and there's something positive on there. And it's like, wow, I never would have known this, or I never would have been able to see something like this did we not get to this point when it comes to technology. I feel like media and social media specifically could be used for so many positive things, but we constantly are using it for negativity and like cyberbullying and just constantly attacking people and sharing information that's not accurate. Yeah,
like I remember when that girl had that died from being in a freezer at the hotel, and some people got on their social media try to like crack the code or figure out what was going on. And I was at a point where I was like, I'm so tired of y'all talking about something that y'all are not even there to be a part of or know what's going on. And it's like, it's just kind of frustrating because it's like, you really invested in this. Like, you done became a whole investigator and about to be the feds on something that you're not even there to be a part of.
But I have a best friend who can find everyone and anyone on social media. She is like FBI.
But see, like, that's the thing. It's like, look at what we using it for. And I mean, like, I mean, we recently just watched the interview, the Candace Owens interview, and how she discussed, like you said, you can find people on social media. Our news only gives us snippets. Like you said, your friend can, edit out certain things based off of reality shows. And those things that they're editing are all based off of clickbait. You know what I'm saying? It's fast information. So, like, you get 30 minutes to, drop some information, and then boom, the clickbait has gotten you to that last point with a cliffhanger, and now you don't have the whole story. So you gotta wait a whole nother week or something to receive that, or a whole day, and now, like, everything that you heard yesterday doesn't match the information that you about to hear today.
Yeah.
And like, you get on YouTube, like what we're doing right now, you're gonna watch the entire however long this video is, and we're gonna literally spill our soul to you. Or the information of our, like, derivative out to you, where you're like, okay, now I'm focused on this entire conversation. I'm actually hearing it being, conducted in a manner in which I can comprehend, digest that information, and come up with my own opinion about it.
Like the Kanye story, I feel like people only took that one piece out of him saying slavery was a choice. It was like when you watch the whole hour and a long interview, it was like, I get what his message was.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I feel like they just do that. I mean, but I feel like at one point, I always ask this question. I said, when did the radio start to become in the car? Because at one point, the radio was like how TV is. You just had it in the house. Mm-hmm. But I felt like as society transitioned and technology took over and we just evolved, I feel like it was like, okay, now we got to find a way to get people to still use the radio, to keep these jobs still going, to keep this entertainment still going. Well, so then they put it in the car. But now it's like you can stream music now. So, like, I feel the social media or the media, the news and stuff, I feel like they try to come up with a new way to still, like, digest information, but also control the people. Because you were saying that social media is now the new slavery. Or media is the new slavery. Because it still controls us. It still gets people to react a certain way. Like, everyone will go out and riot for, like, Meek Mills. Or, everyone will go out and get the new pair of shoes. Because, like, you now have more of a understanding of where something is at. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's so frustrating. Because as you're growing, it's like, mentally, like, we were talking about how kids are dying now. Suicidal. They're more suicidal, and we're asking ourselves why. And it's like, well, they have access to more things. Like, their mind's probably thinking like how my mind's thinking, but I can handle it better because I'm 25. Whereas if I was 16, dealing with the things that they're dealing with at 16, which is just like, the best hair, or figuring out what you want to do with your life. It's like, you're 16.
But see, I want to step in and say that's always been the case. But we grew up in a time where we didn't have social media.
No comparison.
In this comparison, I mean, we were in high school when social media was like, really put on the larger scale. Like, I remember MySpace when, news wasn't touching MySpace, but conversation was.
But truthfully, back in the day, we didn't really have
10 friends. You were in the top 10 friends.
You didn't really have a computer like that. I felt like
we didn't have access. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, so, how the TV wasn't in everybody's homes? Computer wasn't in everybody's home. Now it's like, you go like, what's the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, so like
I know you got Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi wasn't a consistent thing. Yeah. But like, that's what I'm saying. It's like we grew up in a time now where it wasn't as like, I gotta get to my phone just to get to Facebook. Yeah. I hated Facebook when you got on the internet on the Nokia. You know what I'm saying? Like,
remember we used to I used to print out MapQuest to get around.
You couldn't pull
because you couldn't. There was no GPS on your phone.
My mom still does that. She still prints it out even though she can pull it up on her phone.
No.
Yeah. So like, I mean, when you think about all of those things, it's like you have to really. And I mean, we can call it the new slave master, but truth be told, is what we have done to ourselves as a request of more information. And
you think we requested? I don't think anyone complained about certain things.
Yes, no, we definitely.
It was like a societal thing. We have
it.
such a thirst for knowledge and information.
You think so?
For it to be at our fingertips. Our society, like, we want to know everything and have it just at our fingertips. But we don't go about it and accessing it the right ways sometimes, or we abuse that knowledge.
I think it's that we're not satisfied though. I feel like you can get something that's like, okay, well, I need more. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why they keep creating and keep. But the crazy thing is, and this is going off topic, but I feel like we keep creating new things, but we don't get rid of like certain things.
Yeah. Like
education, like it's still the same. The process is still the same, and it's like you change all these. It is.
But it's I mean, we're going to get on it.
Systematic oppression is another form of slavery.
Yeah, but see, I'm going to get on it, and I think we should talk about it because this is what
the other form of slavery.
This is what the viewers need. You know what I'm saying?
Like, but I just feel like I don't have to be like a long conversation. No, but I'm just simply saying how like everything is changing, but certain things don't. Like the role of a man, the role of a woman. It's like, no, we're not changing that.
But see,
back in the day, they was doing this. Or it's like education is like, I don't understand why does the schoolwork so hard. It's like, well, let me see you go to school for 4 years and see if you still want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
I mean, not only that, like it's a generational thing as well, because if you think about our parents or their parents, how cheap was it for them to go to school and get a higher education or buy a house and settle down and things like that? Whereas now, you can't do all of those things. You cannot go to school, buy a house, get married, and have kids. You got to pick one.
Gas is $3.
But see that, like we have to really let's just put it right here on the table right now. Like,
put it on the table.
We're discussing cost of living versus like modern day cost of living. Like everything still goes back into an equal standpoint of like cost of living. College was very costly back in those times. School and education was very much, you know what I'm saying, an expense to have.
It was.
You know, like,
but it was more affordable because the way the wages were set up.
But wages were equal to what America is now.
No, it's not at all. Productivity has gone up in the world when it comes to economics and all those things. But wages have stayed the same since the 70s. It's called wage stagnation.
But how is that when like you have like jobs where they've gotten rid of certain roles because they have robots to do it, or it's like the need for people to be there, like because working at home now, like
it saves you money.
But see, this is the point that we're missing here. I'm discussing.
You're missing.
We see. No, like I mean, as a group,
we see what.
You know, what I'm trying to say is that the cost of living has definitely gone up, but in a sense, there is an equal wage. The wage gap is still equal, and again, I know it could be placed in like
I'm confused. How does that make sense?
Well, let me explain. Okay. So like I'm stating.
Okay, good.
Oh man, it's like I got the devil and the angel on both
What are you
shoulders.
talking about?
But no, I'm stating that school was still the same price then that it is now. It still cost money. And what made it even worse then is that the distance of colleges from what they are now. People had to travel for school, long distances. So, like, my grandmother stayed in a small community in Alabama. And the college that she wanted to, like, if she was going to go to college, it was in a whole nother state that she was accepted into. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also but there was segregation and there wasn't.
But it was exactly.
But nowadays you gotta pay for your books that they don't necessarily.
They were paying for books back then.
But it's like you gotta pay for parking. Were they paying for parking back then? They even have the financial. They didn't even have financial aid back then.
They did.
I thought at the end of the day we're always gonna find something.
They did.
But as you progress, you're always gonna be like, oh, it's not like it was before, or it's not like we're always looking for that reason as to why it doesn't work. But at the end of the day, it's like
nothing.
All I'm saying is everything. We change what we want to change. Just like the media shows what it wants to show you, and it's like we don't have any control over certain things, but we do have a control over the things that we feed into ourselves. And it's like, how do you consciously get out of that? Because I'm not gonna lie, if I look on your Instagram and her Instagram and my Instagram, it's all gonna reflect something different. Mm-hmm. Because we all feed off of what we want to see. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
especially now they got those advertisements.
That sounded like so politically correct.
Yes,
those advertisements.
Those advertisements.
I mean, they exist, and
yeah, on Facebook too.
I mean, especially
and
on
so annoying.
especially on the Explorer page. I mean,
Very.
you get on the Explorer page, you catch a meme, you catch a video of a fight. You know, like we digest so much, and we don't know how to react to it.
Yeah.
And you know,
or we react too quickly and we don't let it digest enough.
Surprisingly, I had got upset about getting into this club or whatever, and like the first thing I thought of was like, y'all, I'm at this club, and then it's like I felt like I had to
broadcast it,
and I was like, I'm a reporter. Like, I don't even need nobody to hire me. I can do it myself.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, do we really even still need the news? Like, do we really need it? Is it really a tool, or is it just like there?
So it's there. It's a filler. It's a seat filler. It's a positional thing on TV that
it's like
actually
the president
takes up time.
It's what's considered to be value news. Because they had it now where they were saying that Facebook is going to make it to where people cannot post certain things pertaining to the news.
Net neutrality.
Yeah.
So this is a great conversation to bring that up, but like, you know, I was watching the Angie Martinez J. Cole interview.
I haven't seen it.
So one point I'm gonna just bring up, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna tell the entire interview, but like J. Cole has already enlisted the fact that, and Kanye West has mentioned it as well, but there will be a day where we won't have celebrities anymore. And this is what media, social media, and everything else has, you know what I'm saying, basically directed us to. It's to knowing ourselves good enough to say, I don't need validation or even the position of some cynical televised show to tell me how to think anymore when I could be thinking for myself. It's like you go to college for a 4-year degree, and truth be told, college is only trying to reiterate what, you know, Tom Ford has created, Henry Ford has created, Basquiat's have created. You know, they're trying to recreate those Steve Jobs in the world. You know, based off
people
of
don't even have college degrees.
None of them have college degrees,
but now degrees
or even high school educations. So like
degrees are slowly being equivalent to high school diplomas.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Bachelor's degrees, yes.
But I think that's like a psychological thing because they're trying to control. It's like you want to tell everybody they need to go to school, but it's like, but you already forced me to go to school for 12 years.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's supposed to be that this is supposed to be enough for me to be like, considered accepted.
Employable.
Another thing is like,
you go to school to be an employee.
We're overselling college. And
they are.
It's like there are other things out there that people can be doing that you do not need to go to college for and be perfectly successful. And I think that's one thing we do horribly when it comes to college students, is just tell them that, oh, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. Where are you going to college? Have you thought about college? And it's like, that's the worst thing you can shove down a kid's throat when we have plenty of good trade jobs out there. For example, our garbage men.
Make 46
I ain't doing that, but I'm going to applaud them. Thank you, garbage men, because
by the time you put in 10 years of working there, you could potentially be up to $56,000 a year, or even 60. So like,
but in some cases, like you can graduate with your bachelor's degree, and it's still like, well, I haven't gotten a job yet. Okay, well, you probably need to go back.
Or they're like, you want 5 experiences, but I just graduated from college. How am I supposed to get 5 years of experience?
Right, exactly.
I just give me the time.
It's a setup. It's a setup. And you know how like colleges are nonprofit, so it's like even the insurance. Like I didn't know about healthcare insurance. That's like considered a nonprofit too. So it just blew my mind when the place I worked at, they were like, we're gonna give you guys extra money if you promote people to go get their annual physical. And I was like, why are y'all trying to give us money for something that people should just do? I shouldn't be rewarded for that. I don't feel like I should, because it's like it should be a service that you should do, but they're making money off of annual visits to the doctor.
Because it's called preventative maintenance. You gotta remember. I like to tell people this. You know,
it's
the largest currency in America, in the world, is not money, it's not gold, it's not silver, it's no like actual physical entity other than humans. We are the largest currency in the world. That's why slavery existed in the first place, is to create currency and value to things. See, a lot of people don't understand that.
The more wealthy you were.
But it's the more people you have, the more minds you have to create. So we are the creators of this world. And I like to always say.
But that's a good question to close it out with. How do we gain that control though?
The control of what?
Of the world.
People.
But you have to control a certain group of people in order for it to be in control of the world.
They do. I mean, think about it. Every nonprofit is connected, right? And this goes as to charities, Red Cross, whatever, Blue Shield, whatever that thing is, and then you also got.
Shouldn't say their names.
Well, why not? I mean, they ain't. But these are all connected nonprofits, including the NBA, NFL, colleges, all non-profitable organizations. And what do they control the most? Income. They are the ones making the most money. News stations, nonprofits, you name all of these things but they have biased, directives to basically pitch to individuals. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if you want to end it out there, but that's, that's the message that most people don't even know about, what we receive from, media sites. I mean, I want to say Facebook is a nonprofit, but it may not be. It's a profitable organization. But
I don't think it's because it's a stock.
But you got to think, NBA has stock based off of, specific items.
Brittany, what do you think? Do you think, how can we control our minds when it comes to social media?
I don't think it's something that I think we need to become more mindful, just in general. Our world, we are very unaware of ourselves and of our surroundings, of our thoughts and everything else. So when you control your thoughts, you can control your emotions. When you can control your emotions, you can control your actions. And it's just it's a never-ending cycle. And I think even going back to when we talk about slavery, whether it's in the media form or its original form, that's been going on for century after century. We have slavery going on now. Sex trafficking is slavery. And so it's something that's never really going to end, but we need to be a lot more mindful about our thoughts and about our actions and how certain actions can impact the psychological development of somebody. Trauma is a big part of that, and that's a whole other topic of conversation and a very long conversation I could get into, but
maybe that would be next.
Mindfulness, I feel like that's the big thing.
Yeah. I think it's also just understanding that you can have an opinion. Everyone can have an opinion. Just because someone has an opinion doesn't mean it's true. And I think that's where things kind of get misconstrued, because it's if you don't agree with me, then I'm supposed to be offended. No, it's good that you don't agree with me, because then I can have a different perspective and I can appreciate someone not just being a yes man or bandwagon or jumping on what somebody else is doing. So I feel like that's often what happens. One person will post something and people feel like they have to post it again. It's I'm not about to post. If I agree with you, double tap, that's it. It don't have to be, because that makes it bigger.
You don't have to attack somebody for not agreeing with you.
Yeah, for not agreeing with you.
I'm even guilty of that.
Yeah.
I've gotten on Facebook, gotten into arguments with people, and called people crybabies.
Yeah. I've learned not to get so emotional. So I used to be like...
I had to check myself after that. Because I'm like, what? And it's not that
I think I've argued with both of you guys on disagreements.
Yeah.
It's I always tell both of them, it's a conversation and there's nothing wrong with deciding.
Well, he likes to do things to where it's dude.
You just play devil advocate.
Yeah, devil's advocate.
You don't even be really
but see, that incites.
But I'm the same way,
that incites the thought process for everybody to have an opinion.
You be provoking people on purpose.
If you don't have an opinion and you're
it don't really be your opinion.
If you're giving me information off of what you've heard from what we're discussing now, media, and you don't really have a full basis on it, I'm going to play devil's advocate to get. And
I can agree on that, because it's I need the facts. Show me the car facts. Yeah, I can agree on that, but I do feel don't think that you can force your opinion on me based off of you. It's not gonna work.
I'm a factual person. If they ain't got facts behind it, I don't want to hear what you.
Yeah, I'm very much a factual person, but I carry my own opinion, and I think it's very important to carry that opinion with the ability to do the research that you have on your opinion, and then those other people's facts.
Or not only that, experiences, because I think that's another thing we discredit a lot is other people's experiences, other people's pain. Yeah. We need to stop saying my pain. Why are we fighting over whose pain was worse? My pain was worse. My impression was worse. Like,
But I think it's because people don't know how to identify their emotions. I feel like it's like
that's a big
they
thing.
think it's pain when really it's
emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Lack of emotional intelligence is
Yeah,
a
we
very
discussed that a
real
lot
thing
too,
in this society.
Mhm.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows how to talk or express
identify
their emotions
Yeah.
constructively.
And that's because we've been forced for so long we've been forced to suppress those certain emotions.
And we think that in order, sometimes I know that for my culture, I think that we think that in order for you to stand your ground, it means to yell.
Express
or
yourself at
be really
another
loud.
level,
When it's like you can stand your ground by simply not saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like silence gives consent sometimes. So I think that plays a role. But you know, this was a rant, guys. It really was a rant, but it was a much needed rant.
It was everywhere. We was over here, then we was over there. Now we over here.
I live with you.
Yeah, so that's how that cookie crumbles. So if y'all want us to talk about more random things, or just comment below how you feel about the media, and do you feel like,
or let us know if there's a specific topic you want to talk more about that we mentioned today.
look at you. She's new. She's a version on the YouTube.
We got a virgin on the mic. We got.
Shut up.
But no,
Yo, what's good, Tay? Oh my God, you so messed that up.
I did.
What was it supposed to say?
Instagram, social media. Yo, what's good, Tay? Follow me on Instagram. Yo, what's good, Tay?
Follow me on IG, the smalley source of social media, which is Mr._Strickland44.
What's my Instagram name? Brittany.Roof.
It's like Brittany Roof, yeah. Brittany.Roof.
We'll just kind of just
BRITTNEY.
Roof.
Yeah, we'll just put it on a little clip thing.
Yeah, we gonna
It'll
get
be
it right.
there. I don't know. I really don't care if you tell me or not.
But but no, seriously, you know, guys, really think about, you know, what you digest for the media. Is it? Oh, okay.
You know him. He be like a preacher. 5 more minutes. Just give me 5 more minutes and I'll be out y'all's hair.
No,
Ephesians 4:2 says, yea, indeed, I walk in the valley. I will fear no evil. So, yo.
They wish and I wish and I wish and I wish.